It's so good to see you guys. I've missed you guys. You
Jake,
never call. You never write.
You.
Do you?
Yes, I remember you.
I never know if I'm memorable or not. It's just me and the dog. I never know if anyone ever knows.
Are you crazy?
Oh,
Jake
keep going.
Hamilton. As soon as I saw that name, I was like, I remember.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
You know, I would imagine because there are so many special effects shots in this film, I know obviously you really had to use your imagination as an actor and look up and pretend that you're seeing these monsters. And since you have been a part of so many different projects where you've had to pretend to see a lot of things or pretend to do a lot of things or pretend to experience a lot of things, what is a moment in your filmography, any project that you most wish you could have actually lived out, that you didn't have to pretend, that you could have gotten to experience for real?
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's a very good question.
Dumping Mike outside a mall.
I dump your ass.
I would like to live that in real life.
You lie.
I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of like iconic. I also like to use the gif of like her saying,
I dump your ass.
Well, I had quite a few of those on Tarzan a few years ago. It would have been incredible to do that with something other than a tennis ball on a C-stand, or to actually be able to do that would have been extraordinary. Yeah,
I'm sure the insurance team for that studio was like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the more fun things that I've done. There's not so many. I've done a lot of kind of terrifying things that I would really rather have not done.
It's Godzilla.
I don't know. I suppose I would love to have met King Kong for real. I mean, who wouldn't? That would have been a good one. That would definitely have been a good one.
King Kong or Richard Nixon?
I'd also love to be, a cyborg like I was in Alita Battle Angel. Being a real life cyborg would be so cool.
So also we got to get part 2 of that, but that's a whole other conversation.
A whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Nowadays, with all the production values in every film, and especially in these films or in the Midnight Sky, for example, the Midnight Sky with George Clooney, they do such fantastic work on the production design that there's very little for you to worry about. There's nothing for you. There's not much to imagine or pretend because it's right there.
Well, there's this moment that King Kong and Godzilla are going to butt heads. So there's this moment, where King Kong's jumping around, just like being on his back would be super cool.
I'm really curious about everyone's mindsets as to who was going to be the winner before they really started diving into this project. So when you had the script in your hand, right as you were about to turn that first page and get into this story and figure out what happened, just from your perspective, who did you genuinely think was going to win?
3, 2, 1, Godzilla.
Well, I thought and hoped that Godzilla would win because I was a big Godzilla fan when I was a kid.
I mean, I'm guessing Godzilla.
I would think Godzilla.
Really? So original.
I was rooting for Kong all the way. I was just hoping, please kick this guy's ass, man. I mean, just put him down. You know what I mean?
Kong's pretty strong too, so it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say.
I honestly, I didn't think about it. I know everyone else has.
What if Godzilla and King Kong had an arm wrestle? Who would win?
That situation, it would be Kong.
You know how we were saying
trying to tell me, Godzilla's fiery breath isn't going.
He would just fall over, he would limp around, and it'd just roll around. Godzilla would. Okay.
I would watch, we had these old VHS cassettes at my house. So my dad and I would watch like the old 60s versions of the Godzilla movies with, 2 dudes in a jumpsuit, basically. Just like, yeah, they're incredible. So I was definitely Team Godzilla going into it.
I suspect there'll be twists and turns and who knows what and this and that, and that was my suspicion. So I didn't really I let it happen to me rather than try and guess it too much.
Did you think that they were going to hug it out at the end?
mean, I always hope that in a conflict that someone will hug it out. So yeah, I guess I did.
You mentioned sort of those early films, and I love sort of the idea of how far these characters have come. You look at, King Kong being claymation originally, like you said, Godzilla being the guys in the suits, and you sort of look at how much they've changed over the decades. For you, when you look back at your first appearance on film, what's the change that you've made as an actor that you're most proud of?
Speaking up for myself.
In what way? What do you mean?
Yeah, I feel like maybe before I would just kind of go on set and be. I took it too seriously that my bosses were kind of like my bosses, and now I go onto set and I just want to be looked at as an equal, and share my ideas and create. And I feel like I used to be a little bit more afraid of that. And so now I go onto set and I just want to be respected as much as I respect you. And I feel like being looked at as an equal is something that I've grown to learn being on different projects. But now I've kind of come to the point where it's like, I'm lucky that you're here and you're lucky that I'm here, and we're both here to make something special. So let's make something special.
I think for me, it's definitely, I would not say it's maturity.
No,
I guess it's just, experience in the people that I've met, and I've learned a lot of things from a lot of different people from different places and from all over the world. So I think it's definitely the amount of time that I got to spend with really cool people.
Like me, obviously.
Like you and Brian.
Mostly me, actually. Just mostly me. And now it's my turn.
Millie's turn.
We have to just end on it. Ultimately, it was me that changed his, yeah.
What's Millie?
It was the moment that he set eyes on me. He was like, whoa.
Puberty.
And how did that affect your performance?
I mean, I made it through puberty, and trust me, that's not a small feat, man.
Most people have to do it and they can kind of just hide and no one know, but you had like a camera in your face.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was intense, man. It was intense.
Well, when you ask me that question, I have to actually think of the first thing that I did, and I was 9 years old. So I guess, growing up and still doing it is an accomplishment in itself.
I don't over enunciate with my mouth.
Is that if I were to go back, can I see that?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably see it. It's on From Dusk Till Dawn. It's the first show I did, and I just would over enunciate so much. I feel like I was so self-conscious about me not being able to speak English. So, in my mind, so I over enunciated every sentence. It was like, my mouth is doing really weird stuff that I'm like, what was I thinking? What a mess.
I think the biggest change was that when I was 19, I didn't have anything, not even one hair. Oh yeah, I had one hair here, another one there. That was that. And then suddenly, when I turned 25, boom, like a werewolf. The moon was full, and then voila, right? And I think that's the biggest change I've ever been through.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.